Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a pretty good one. Didn't do a whole lot. Sunday, we didn't really get any rain to speak of, and it's the forecast for like the next 7 or 8 days is just fantastic. So, little, little less humidity, some cooler nights, and fall's starting to creep in. So, looks like we might actually have a fall season. Sometimes we just go from running the air conditioner to flipping it to heat, but we might actually have a little bit of a fall this year. So that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, me and Jack are here. Let's check out, see who we got hanging out with us this morning. We have Mr. Howard. Good morning, John. Good to see you this morning. Darren Birds, good morning. Appreciate the thumbs up. We got a few of them over there. Thomas Grimm, good morning. Yeah, you were close. You're only one key off there. Ray, good morning. Clyde's here. Good morning, Clyde. Landis Stutes is here. Good morning, Landis. My old buddy Paul from Flushing, Michigan. Good morning, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Marcelo's here. Good morning. Gary's here. Good morning. David Davis, good morning from Virginia, he says. Hope you're doing well. Monroe Cook is here. Good morning. Kevin Els, good morning. My old buddy Larry Galt's here. How you doing, Larry? George Rothfuss, good morning. Jesse's here. And George is here. It is forecast not to get to 70 today. All righty. Oh, and Solar Man's here. Good morning, Ryan. Hope you all are doing well. We had, it's kind of crazy because I guess there's a fault line here in Georgia somewhere. They say it runs kind of cattywampus from Savannah to, over towards Atlanta. And the one of the meteorologists, usually he's on the weekends, Ryan Beasley, he had a thing on Facebook yesterday, and he says, did anybody feel this? And I guess we had some kind of I don't know what it was, 2.4 or 2.9 or something. It wasn't very big. Earthquake. I guess at about 4 a.m. Saturday, which is weird how they always seem to have these earthquakes in the middle of the night because, unless it's just one of my, it happens to hit when I'm making one of my bathroom trips or something, I'm probably not going to feel it. And I didn't. And even when he posted that thing, I saw a lot of people, from Covington and, of course I'd mentioned McDonough and stuff like that, but, I don't think anybody really felt it, but, some people claim they did, but I don't know. I don't know how you can feel one that little. That's, Jack walks through the house and I feel tremors probably more than that earthquake. So, Ryan said earthquake, dang autocorrect. Yeah. It was, like I said, I think it was 2.4, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know. I don't know that I would have felt that if I was, sitting right here. I don't know. I have felt an earthquake before, not a real big one, but only one I've ever felt. It wasn't in Georgia, and I don't even remember the exact year. But I was a young kid. really young. And I remember I was sick, so I was staying home from school that day, or maybe I was pretending to be sick. I don't know. But anyway, I remember I was at home and my mother was at home. And I think she was laying down in the bed, her bed, taking a nap. And I was in my bedroom. And I remember I had this old metal wind up alarm clock that was on a nightstand beside my bed. And I remember laying there and, all of a sudden things started shaking and that clock started rattling around. That's what woke me up. And I remember looking at, and our house then was Miami stone. And I remember going up to the window and looking, and it looked like the side of the walls were just going like that. But it's probably just because it was shaking my vision or something. But anyway, I don't even remember what year that was, but that was a long, long time ago. Probably somewhere between 50 and 60 years ago, because, well, more like 55 or 60 years ago, somewhere in there. Because I was just a just a kid. Um, let's see here. Sean's here. He's back on his other YouTube channel. Never know how he's going to show up, do we? I see David says, what kind of camera is that white one behind you? That one right there is a Zosi. I will bring it up and show you. It's a what I use for a security camera, and it's kind of an extra one. So I'm 3D printed that little mounting thing, round thing, so that I could mount it on the tripod, and I put it right there, and I use it so that I can keep an eye on my 3D printers when I'm out in the yard or around back in the shop or out in the garage or whatever. Let's see if I can find that. Yep, there it is right there. Well, wow, yeah, there it is. I don't know if that's the same one I bought or not. It doesn't say I bought that one, but they're dirt cheap. I don't remember them being quite that cheap. But anyway, I'll share this so you can see. But that's the brand, right? Well, if I can get it off of there, where'd it go? Right there, ZOSI. And I'm using it with a Harbor Freight 8. They called it an 8 camera security system or whatever, but it's a Cobra from Harbor Freight. But it only came with, even though you can hook up 8 cameras, it came with 4. So I hooked those 4 up, and then I decided I wanted some more. So I bought 2 more cameras. So the first 4 cameras, camera 1 is up here, and it keeps an eye on my front door so I can see when my Amazon deliveries or UPS or whatever, if they bring something up and set it by my door, I can see it. Camera 2 is over at the corner of my garage, which kind of shoots down the driveway. Covers pretty much most of the front yard, but mostly it's keeping an eye on my vehicles and stuff out there. And then I have camera 3 and 4, which are both, one of them gets the right half of the backyard and the other one gets the other half of the backyard. And then camera 5 is hung over my door going from my house to my garage, and it's the one I turn all the time. And I'll sit right here and keep an eye on my CNC machine. So I can zoom it into different corners, or depending on what I have running out there. And then this one, it's just my security system's just right here. So this one I I just put on a tripod and move it around to keep an eye on whatever I want to, mostly to keep an eye on the 3D printers. And for some reason, when I set this one up, when I plugged it in, I didn't want to move all that wires and stuff. So I just found an empty plug and I plugged it in. Instead of being 6, which would be the next one in line, I plugged it in 7. So, but anyway, that's probably way more information than you needed. But there it is. Zosie is the name of that camera if you want to. And they're really good cameras. Lonnie's here. Another great live show. Hope to catch one so I can pester everyone. Yeah. Yeah. I think, I watch a lot of live streams. Some of them I don't always get to watch live. And it's, even though I enjoy watching them, if they have interesting guests or something on, and, if it's something interesting, it's still good to watch, but it's so much better when you watch them live because with the interaction of the people that are there and stuff. And of course, Lonnie, the big plus to watching the Hobby CNC with Dave show live is you get a chance to win that free Jenny bed of whatever type we're doing. Yeah, let's see. We had Leo. I don't see him in here this morning, but he was the lucky winner this Saturday. So congrats to him. Kenneth's in the house. Good morning, Kenneth. Lou's here as well. Good morning. But yeah, there are some live streams I've watched, and what they do is they do the live stream, but then when they go to put it up as a replay video, they, I guess, pull it down or download it or whatever and edit it to cut out stuff. And when I say cut out stuff, I don't think they're really cutting out anything important. I just think they're cutting out the dead air and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I like seeing raw stuff. So even when I'm watching a live stream that's a recording, I like to see it unedited, so that even though you didn't see it live, you're still seeing it just like it happened live. So, and of course, that's the way mine are. Both this little coffee session and the Hobby CNC with Dave show, it's being recorded right now as it's broadcast, and it will be on their respective YouTube channels, but there's no editing done. So if I say something or Jack barks or whatever, you're gonna hear that in when you watch the replay. So Lonnie says, "Yeah, I could use some Jennies." Yeah, well, that's a good way to get in on them. We've been, and I said this the other night, I think on the Hobby CNC with Dave show, when I decided to start doing those again, because I'd taken a break. Of course, January 1st, New Year's Day fell on a Saturday. So I didn't want to start off on the 1st. And so I did the first one on January 8th, but it wasn't really it wasn't like all the other Hobby CNC with Dave shows. It was more a kind of a follow-up to the Gatton CNC Christmas Challenge, where we showed the videos and the projects and all that stuff. So that was about all of that. But then the first, what I call official Hobby CNC with Dave show, we started January 15th. That was the first, what I'm calling the first one. Under that name, I've done many others under other names. But that was January 15th, kicked it off with an interview with my old buddy, Laney Shaughnessy. And, we just keep right on going. Here we are practically in the middle of September, and we haven't missed a Saturday. We've been doing it every single night. And for a lot of those, I can't remember exactly. Maybe somebody out there knows, but somewhere after we had got going a little ways, I don't know, we had 5 or 6 maybe under our belt. Uh, Cody kind of came on board as the uh, unofficial sponsor, I guess, of the of the show by doing, he's basically a sponsor of the giveaway. So he does that. We do the Genie Bit thing every single week. And I might have to go back and look and see how long he's been doing it. But it's a long time. He's giving away a ton of bits. In, because for several months anyway, I know. I'll have to go back and look. Okay, Lonnie's got good news. He's up to 3250 for his $1,200 X tool. They might come out with another model by the time you get enough saved up. It'll be on clearance, maybe. I don't know. But Ryan says, yeah, you get to watch my computer kick me off 50 times. Yeah. Well, I didn't really, I saw it a few times, but I focused on other things, but I went back and watched a little of it last night, or not last night, yesterday morning, I guess, when I was drinking my coffee. And then I'm like, as as I was watching some of it, I'm like, dang, there goes Ryan again. So I'm like, yeah, you had some real issues with internet connection or something. But anyway, I hope we get those straightened out. But it happens. It happens. I'm wondering how much longer I'm going to be able to do those shows from the garage, because the more, you think about it, I have the StreamYard screen. I have 2 monitors out there. I got 3 in here, but I only have 2 out there. So I have the StreamYard on one monitor, and then just like I do in here, I'll have the YouTube open so that I can make sure that it's, going to YouTube and that there's no problem. Although the comments all show up here in StreamYard, they show up about 30 seconds later than when you type them in YouTube. So I like to be able to glance over there and see something coming before it ever gets here. But so I've got those 2 screens open, and then if I'm screen sharing something, then I have to have another tab open on, usually I have it open on the one that's not got the StreamYard, but the other one. And then I have the giveaway tool, which is opened in another tab. So I got all this stuff open, and then I got, if I'm showing something with that second camera, I've got another camera. So there's a lot of stuff going on for that poor old computer, because that's the computer I used to have in here, and I replaced it with a much faster one so that I could do 3 monitors. The other one wouldn't handle 3 monitors. So anyway, I'm probably going to have to break down and get another computer at some point if I'm going to keep doing that. Clyde says, I've been fooling around with Bob's G Sender and old cell phone as a pendant over Wi-Fi. Yeah, that'll work. I've done that with, with that Revolution rotary thing. I don't know, Clyde. I'm just really old school. I just don't like using my cell phone for anything. Yeah, you can do it, but to me, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather have something with bigger buttons, something I can see better. Just don't like having to fool around with the phone. but it does work. So let's see. George says Cody, who represents what is great about America, a family-based business and growing. Like Dave said, if you make something good and people will buy. Cody is connecting all the dots. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Lonnie says, I have no plans for cutting with the laser, but I am thinking that I could run the X tool at low power faster to make the diode last longer. Am I thinking wrong? I don't think you are. I'm certainly no laser expert of any kind, but I have seen lots of talk and YouTube videos and that kind of stuff. And pretty much everybody's on the same page as far as, and it doesn't matter whether it's diode lasers, CO2 lasers, fiber lasers, whatever, they all have this rated power. And then they have like the peak power. Well, the peak power is a big number and it sounds impressive, but it's like you don't want to run it at that for very long. And I think generally the rule of thumb is, at least on the CO2 lasers, from what I've been getting out of the videos I've been watching, is that if you figure out what 80% of the power is and then set that to be your max, and then always shoot for less than that, you'll get the hours out of the tube. And I think the same kind of thing is true with the diode. I think the more you run it, or the more power you run it, the sooner you're going to burn it up and it's going to play out. They all have a certain amount of time that they're going to work, and then when they're done, they're done. So but that's what, in fact, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research on these CO2 lasers, and pretty much all of them, when you go to, or if you just go to look at a manufacturer that makes replacement tubes, like say, you have a 60 watt and you want to upgrade it to an 80 watt or whatever, and you go to look at the tube, they always have on there the lifetime is listed in like 3 different things. So it's like if you use from 0 to 25%, you're going to get this much time out of it. If you go from 25 to 45%, it should last this long. And then if you use more than that, you're going to get this much time out of it. That's, it's always, they say it's going to last longer when you use it with less power. So I see a lot of those guys that get the diode lasers and they add a air assist and crank it up and start cutting stuff. I have no desire to do that with my O-Tour. It is a great little uh engraver. I showed you these tiles things I did on wood and tile and all that stuff. But if you really want to cut something, you're gonna have to spend some more money, I think. I don't know. That's just me thinking. Larry says, I'm going to order another 60-degree Genie because somehow the point got broke. Only used once, didn't drop it. Didn't nick a clamp or anything, did you? Or a screw where I don't know how you hold down your stuff. Lonnie says CNC for cutting. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I see a lot of folks that, like I said, I've been watching a ton of videos lately. But these folks that have these like a glow forge, or I can't think of what the other one. There's another one that's kind of similar to a glow forge, and then you got all these, K40s and stuff like that that's out there, and that might be all they have. So they're trying to do everything with it. They're trying to engrave something, and if they have to do any cutting, that's what they use because that's what they got. But if you're fortunate enough to have a CNC as well as a CO2 laser, then you got a big advantage, I think, because it's just like all these people that they buy this material, this 1/8 inch Baltic birch and 1/4 inch Baltic birch and stuff. They buy these blanks, so then they have to make their, whether they're making their Christmas ornaments or earrings, or whatever they're making, they've got to engrave it and also cut it out, which probably isn't too bad for some of that little stuff. But if you're doing like I can't even think of anything right now, but if you're doing something bigger and you had a CO2 laser and a CNC, I think you'd be crazy not to cut the shape, out on the CNC. And then, and it's not hard to fixture that stuff, because basically all you have to do is put a piece of cardboard down on your CO2 and run the outline of whatever shape you cut, and then just line it up with that. That's what I've done with that little diode laser. Cut stuff, like when I run these, I had a piece of cardboard set on there, and I ran a thing to cut, but I told it, you know, up low enough power so that it wouldn't cut all the way through the cardboard, which I really could have done that too and set it down in there. But I just, made a square line that matched this, and then all you do is line it up and then turn that layer off and hit the engrave, and boom, there you go. So, um, Ryan says I could modify a GarageWorks frame to run a CO2. Yeah, I probably could. And I have 4 of those. Or I think 4. I know I got 3. I'm pretty sure I got enough parts to build 4 of them. But one of them, I've got everything, including a controller, because I had one around back in my shop, and then I took it back apart to save room, or not totally broke it down, but broke it down into subassembly type pieces, and it's all stacked up under a workbench there. So I could easily throw that thing back together. But the thing of it is, I would probably have to do, because if I did it the way the GarageWorks runs, it's still with lead screws, and that would be a little slow for trying to do a CO2. I mean, you could do it, but it would be slow. Yeah, good point, Lou. You always want to try to use the lowest power to get the result you want. And that's true with any of them. Like even the big, when I say big lasers, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, 6,000 watt lasers that cut steel. When there's a new type of material, like when I used to work for a job shop here, every once in a while you'd have a customer bring in some kind of material, and they bought some small piece of some weird alloy, and from McMaster or something like that. So the laser operator would always set it on there, and then he'd just do little test squares in the corner, as tiny as he could get away with, and then work up to, because sometimes it might cut it, but then you pick up the little piece and it's like, well, now it's got dross all over it because it's too much. So you just adjust the power and the speed until you get it. And like Lou said, you always want to try to run it with just enough power to get the job done. Um, Ryan says lead acid batteries are like that too. Draw them down 80% and you will get 500 cycles. Draw to 50 and you get 1500 cycles. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Larry says all I want to do is engrave. That's why I'm getting a 10 watt. Yeah. And it'll do a great job at that. Now you can, like I said, if you wanted to, you could add an air assist, and there's people that are cutting, at least 1/8 inch Baltic birch and stuff with those using air assist. But I wouldn't even waste my time trying to do that. Just if it was me, I would just try to get a bigger laser. Well, he says, I am not a carpenter, but now I'm going crazy with the box software to make drawers. I even have orders to sell a couple custom sizes, add to the laser pot. Yeah. I really like those boxes, doing those. In fact, I've got a workbench out there. It's on casters. It rolls around and stuff. I've got my little diode laser sitting on top of it on one end. I've got the 3018 sitting on the other end. But under the shelves, and I'm using the word shelf loosely here, it's basically some plywood I've screwed down into there, and I've just got stuff thrown in there, not organized at all. And I keep thinking I need to go buy a bunch of that inexpensive Luan plywood that I use to make those little test boxes, because those are be perfect for the drawer. They don't have to be super sturdy, but to be able to separate, they'd be like little bins, And I'm wanting to pull all that stuff out of there and measure, and then figure out how to make boxes to use as drawers or things I can pull out and kind of get some stuff organized. And I have like a shelf, and then there's the bottom of it too that I've got too. So there's really like two shelves. So that'll come in the works, I guess. Of course, I could do it with my CNC. I just hate. Well, I won't say hate, because they do make pretty nice looking boxes, and for that it wouldn't matter. But I just don't like seeing that dog bone. It drives me nuts. I'm thinking, man, I wish I had a laser, because you can just, it's nice and square. And plus, I like the look of the charred edges for the contrast in the color. I think that looks cool. But anyway, I digress. My timer went off, so let me get out of here. Everybody have an awesome Monday, and I guess we'll be back here tomorrow for, man, we're getting close to 600, folks. This will be 567 tomorrow. Of course, if I make it. So don't count your chickens before they hatch, Mom always said. Anyway, everybody have a good Monday. We'll see you later.